Alright. Alright, folks. Hello, hello. It's good to see you again. It's good to be back. We're going to do our life. We're going to be moving on to step 2 finally today. Which is nice. We've been in step 1 for a long time doing all those moments and stuff. You may have noticed that I updated my look a little bit to be a little bit more accurate and to show off a little bit more of my shape. Yeah, I did that for you guys, for fun. So we're gonna go ahead and get started now. Ta-da! Once again, we're getting a look at Lane. We updated their look last time. They have a comfort level of speaking directly to Cove, and we're still only just fond of him for now. Hello, it's me! It's great. All of it's great. So, we're gonna be moving on. We're moving on to step 2. Alright. Why not look at both? We can change up the boy. Let's see. How shall we change up the boy? No, I like that one. So you only got 2 hairs, and I like the wavy one. Lizards. We're going lizards. Warmer colors. Doodads. Yeah, look at your Pokemon cards. Yeah, look at everybody's shown up. It's always nice to have that. And yeah, everybody grew up while we were gone. I didn't realize it was gonna be like this much of a leap. We were 8 and now we're not. Don't know how old we are. Okay, I'm gonna wear the same glasses. I like the one with the compass. We're good at keeping the compass. Keep those. I like the shape on this one better. So then that's done. Yeah, we're a whole party. We got a bunch of people. It's great. I'm bad at reading the chat. I'll get better, I promise. He does like pink, but I didn't like the shape of it. So let's see. I kind of like... What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? Part of me is like, I don't know what I should touch here. Should I just leave it? Should he be more sporty? I think he's honestly more around there just from how we've talked to him. He was pretty candid as a kid, and then we sort of warmed him up a little bit, but I don't know if he's like all the way to be friendly, but I don't know. Think I should put him in mixed or like towards sporty? Because he was kind of a very active child. I'm kind of leaning towards this, but I don't know how to, like, I don't know what this really is about. It's interesting. Alright, I think we'll go with this. Alright. Since I don't know who this is. This is one of the DLC people, so... We only have one level. I could be nervous but fond. That could be interesting. Yeah. Alright. August ended, September began. It was time to go back to school. Lizzie groaned and complained the entire first week. She hated going to classes. Still, there were interesting things to do that couldn't be done anywhere else. You weren't sure how Cove felt about it? He was enrolled that year. That was like a sign Cove would be staying in Sunset Bird for a while. At school, he was alright, but he kept his distance from the other kids. From what you saw, anyway. Whenever he could, Cove stuck to you like glue. He didn't even mind that much what you did to pass the time, as long as it was together. That year, the divorce of Cove's parents was finalized. You overheard your parents talking about it, saying Cove's dad got full custody. At first you worried that meant bad news. It had made Mr. Holden cry, apparently. Then you found out it meant Cove would keep living with his dad. He would only stay with his mom a few weeks of the year. Cove cried too, for different reasons, you thought. It seemed like Cove and his dad might move again, but Mr. Holden decided to stay after all. Mom asked him about it once. He said he didn't want to uproot Cove's life a second time. Mr. Holden tried to get Cove to like Sunset Bird more. He kept encouraging his son to go out and see the place. Sometimes Mr. Holden volunteered you to go spend time with Cove. He seemed very confident that it was an effective strategy. Cove never talked to anyone about what happened with his parents, and withdrew whenever it was brought up. It was hard Oof, hiccup. It was hard for him, yet nobody knew how to help. Eventually, Cove stopped crying on his own. You couldn't understand what had changed. Still, you worried about him. You could tell he wasn't completely happy. Maybe one day he could say out loud what he felt inside. After that, it felt like things had gone back to normal, except what was normal didn't stay the same. Years passed, and suddenly you were in middle school. You weren't a kid anymore. You were 13 years old. That officially made you a teen, even if your sister didn't agree. The toys and crayons that used to litter every free space in your room had been packed away somewhere, replaced by new hobbies. There were other changes, too. Cove's cast got taken off. It was weird to see him without it initially. Underneath the pink plaster ended up being a long, thin scar that snaked across his forearm. Cove's chest puffed out in pride whenever someone drew attention to it. He also went through a major growth spurt. He was the tallest student in his class for 2 years in a row. Cove will probably hold that spot again next time. In class, people knew him for more than just being tall. He also stood out because of how well he did with school stuff overall. Over the years, he began opening up more, too. You saw him talking amicably with other kids or neighbors from time to time. And the only kid that came to visit the neighborhood when you were little Shiloh, well, he was gone. He and his mom moved back south because of her work, just 1 year after Cove came to Sunset Bird. It had been really upsetting when he left. Lizzie was inconsolable for weeks. But nobody talked about Shiloh anymore. It was a long time ago. You learned some heartbreaking things became less sad the further away they were, even if they had never gotten any better. That was sad in its own way. Things at home were different too. You still lived in the same house and all of that, but it wasn't how it was before. Ma dyed her hair purple, wanting something new, and liked it so much she kept dyeing it. You remember calling her Mommy as a kid, but something like that seemed awkward nowadays. You were much too old for the word. Lizzie felt too mature for her nickname, too. She insisted on everyone calling her Elizabeth, so you did. Your moms soon gave her permission to go places other than the playground and shopping street, which she took advantage of. You rarely saw her around the old neighborhood. In fact, she hardly spent any time with you the way she did before. Elizabeth associated more and more with girls from her school who were her own age. Maybe the difference between 13 and 15 was greater than the difference between 8 and 10. You started befriending new people yourself, like Derek Suarez. He didn't live in the neighborhood or go to the same school. What happened was his and Cove's dad struck up a business partnership a few months ago. Since then, Derek would pop up in the neighborhood, in the area, or now and then. It seemed Mr. Suarez was happy to let Derek tag along to his work, if Derek had the time for it. Without a doubt, everyone and everything around you had changed in small and big ways. You had, too. As time went by, though, it was easy to settle into this new normal. Then, before you knew it... Honestly, yeah. This is, like, very accurate to what growing up does, how things change and how things stay the same. And how different and alone that can make you feel. All from going from 8 to 13. Then, before you knew it, school was over and summer vacation had come again. It was the first day of summer vacation. Yeah, it makes me excited to see their second game, which is going to have 2 major love interests and take place in a forested, wooded area town instead of the beach town. I hope they keep doing stuff like this, because obviously they're really good at writing that sort of thing. Now, whether or not the players will be able to get into the mindset of a child or not is up to the players, but... It was the first day of summer vacation. The sun was as hot as ever, but you were inside and away from its harsh rays. Look at that gamer setup. Everything has changed. I don't see my weird stuffed animals anywhere anymore. There's a snorkel on the wall. New bed. Amazing. To be more specific, you were 13, summer vacation at the beach already. Wide awake, about to head out to enjoy your time off. You made sure to slather on a generous amount of sunscreen, so you didn't get burnt. You were looking in the mirror, studying the clothes you'd thrown on, when your bedroom door opened without warning. In the reflection, you saw Elizabeth raise an eyebrow. Have you been staring at yourself this whole morning? Good morning, Elizabeth. She ignored that, crossing her arms over her chest with a disgruntled expression. Clearly, she hadn't come in just to see you. Mom told me to tell you that your friend's at the door. He brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Holden. Mom wants you to take it from him saying thanks or whatever. Come on. She is. Where's the little golfer girl? I miss Lizzie. I don't know her, this angsty teenage girl. So come down already. I'm gonna be happy-go-lucky, because you can be annoyed at me all the time. But I'm gonna go get my friend and my gift, and I'm gonna go to the beach. So... Really? That's great! I'm coming! Elizabeth said nothing else and left, having done what was instructed of her. Now alone, you focused on the mirror once again. So we can go anywhere from your reflection hardly fit in the frame, you're very tall, to you had trouble getting your reflection to appear in the mounted mirror frame, you're very short. Oh. Honestly, I see Lane as pretty tall. Not super tall, but pretty tall. Your reflection went over the whole length of the mirror. You're pretty tall. Cove tended to be the only person around who was even taller, at least among teens your own age. I like how they give you so many options on how to, like, make your character your character. Like, I can enjoy my height. I can be not sure about how I feel about my height, or I can be self-conscious over how tall I am. But honestly, I feel like moderately average to tall kids are just always sort of like, I enjoy being taller than everybody. You liked your height. It suited you well in your mind. Then you put the finishing touches on your outfit while ruminating on the situation. Careless as they had been, Elizabeth's words piqued your curiosity. You planned on going over to see what Cove was up to, so this worked in your favor. Your reflection grinned back at you. You were looking forward to seeing him. You left your room, going down the stairs 2 at a time. Step 2. Second chance. You spotted your mom first, reclining on the couch. She held a magazine in her hands, which she was perusing through. "Morning, Mom!" She looked up at your greeting, a smile instantly appearing on her face.
Thanks.
"Good morning, Lane. Thank you for coming down." Ma's at the door with Cove. He can't stay over today, unfortunately. Why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? You nodded and made your way to the front of the house. Just as she had said, Ma was there making conversation. She must have heard you because she looked over her shoulder. Look who finally made it. Morning, sleepyhead. Yep, she's purple now. Ma reached forward and you knew she was about to pat you on the head. She was taller than average for an adult woman, so you were still little in her eyes, despite being big for your own age. Let's see. I'm gonna do happy ones, so you pushed her hand back and laughed, or you happily let her do it. Which do you guys want to do? Do you want head pats? Because, again, this is the affectionate mother, and I appreciate her dearly. So I'm all about the options that are happy here. Yeah, we got a sure, so we can get a head pat. Alright. You happily let her do it. That type of small, affectionate exchange was nice. She placed the whole of her hand on top of your head for a second before lifting it back up. Ah, you're the last one down today, you know that? Life isn't a race, Ma. Funny, I don't think that excuse will work if you're late for any more than your own mother, though. With a small laugh, Ma stepped inside. Cove was just as you remembered, exactly how you came to know him to be. He leaned uncomfortably to the side in your doorway. Fruit basket! As the longer strands of his hair idly drifted with the breeze. His features were pinched in embarrassment, and he shifted from one foot to another. He was holding what must be the most much talked about gift. At first glance, you figured it must be a bouquet of flowers. Then you gave it a real look. No, instead it was carefully cut fruit. It made a lot of sense that it was actually from Cove's dad. You had to suppress a laugh at this showing. You couldn't imagine many folks buying that sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. That kind of arrangement was built for the presentation, likely to impress whoever was inevitably going to receive it. It seemed no matter how long he lived here, Mr. Holden would always keep going out of his way to be neighborly, and Cove would always be roped into participating. Cove smiled at the sight of you. The sting of this goofy errand he was clearly embarrassed to be on eased. Hey, Lane. You smiled back. It was second nature to you. Cove had always been such a close friend, ever since the two of you were kids. Hey, it's nice to see you. Yeah, you too. Your grin widened even more. Every time he came around, your mood was brightened. It was already shaping up to be another long summer with plenty of time for the two of you to have fun together. His awkwardness over the task started to creep back in, so Cove nudged the gift closer to you. He was ready to be relieved of it. And with that, the gift was accepted. I hope you and your family like this. It's a pretty good gift. I think so, anyway. He smiled earnestly. Dad spent a lot of time picking out the best size and design. There were so many options to choose from. That would be for his dad. His dad is adorable when it comes to gift giving. Thank you. Thanks. You are too cute sometimes. Thank you. To your dad for buying it and to you for bringing it over. It looks yummy. I'll tell him he said that. Mr. Holden's behavior really was different from any other neighbor you'd ever had. Though after 5 years you were used to his antics, and you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. He was sort of funny. Yeah, I saw that last option at the very end. You could pick any sort of thing, including to have a crush on your best friend's dad. Because you could think he was handsome to boot. Hilarious. Sometimes that could be a good thing, and other times it was a bad thing. Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. There you are! You shared a confused look with Cove, as when both of you stepped through the open door into the neighborhood street. It didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. You spotted Derek just a few yards down the road. He ran up to you. Happy at the sight of him, confused at the sight of him, displeased by the sight of him. I'm gonna go with confused because he only rarely shows up. You hadn't expected to see Derek today, though you never really knew when he'd appear. After stopping a couple of steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. Then he looked up with a wide grin. Oh. Cutie pie. Hey, guy and pal. Is that your non-binary thing for me? Lane, the they, them. I'm just pal. Two would be guys, and then the other one would be guy and gal. I was just at your house, Cove, but no one was there. Should have figured you'd be at Lane's place. Do you ever spend your time in your own home, or are you just always there? Derek laughed at his own joke. He is respectful, and he's small. He's small compared to... I'm taller than him. Due to my choices. Cute. He either didn't notice that it embarrassed Cove, or the embarrassment was what he was actually laughing at. Derek turned to you. He was going to say more when his eyes widened and he gasped, "What's that?" You followed his gaze, unsure. Then you realized what he meant. You were still holding Mr. Holden's gift. This is kind of like a bouquet of flowers, but made out of fruit. Nice. Can I have some? Sure, we can share. I haven't even tried any yet. It's a gift for my family. I can't give it to you. Maybe you can have some later. What do you guys think? How should we deal with the boy? We should feed the boy? We should feed the boy. Sure, we can share. Derek grew more excited by your words, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Awesome! Then he nodded his head as if to clear it. Anyway, that's right, because I needed to say something big. He paused, possibly for effect. There's some other kid here in Sunset Bird. Cove was as surprised as you were by the news. Such a reaction made sense. No one around your age had moved here since Cove did 5 years ago. Were they with their family? Maybe they were cutting through. Nuh-uh. The new kid was all by himself, just walking. Did you talk to him? Nope. Came to report the sighting right away. The kid had green hair, glasses, and was pretty small and seemed really upset about something. I hope he didn't leave. You blink. Slowly, you looked over to your longtime neighbor. That sounds a lot like you, Cove, when you first got here anyway. Kinda does, doesn't it? That's weird. He sounded almost fond, a small smile playing on his lips. Derek snickered good-naturedly. I can see that really well now that you say so. But what do you say? Let's go find Cove's lookalike. We should all meet him. I'll do it. Sure, I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned. Then he pointed down the street the way he came. Last I saw him, the mystery visitor was going in this direction. Nothing else needed to be said. The three of you were off, with Derek leading the way. Derek brought you to the beach, and as a trio you made your way down the shore to the old playground. You walked the familiar path in comfortable silence. When you were almost there, you spotted the kid in question. His bright colors shone almost like a beacon beneath the rays of the sun. He scuffled around, kicking up the sand as he paced. It was true, he certainly seemed upset, but you didn't think he was sad like you had originally pictured. No. With his erratic movements and scrunched-up expression, he came off as angry. You were curious about him and what he was so mad about. Jarek must have felt the same as you. He waved wildly, calling out to the boy. Hey, guy, over here! A scowling mushroom has appeared. He's so pale. The kid whipped around, an impressive scowl carving deeper onto his face. His eyes were tired, but a strong hostile energy still radiated from him. What? What is it? What do you want? The sharp tone made Derek flinch. He shifted on his feet. He does look like a Ralts. He absolutely does look like a Ralts. What's your name? Jeremy. Was that it? No, I'm Derek. That's Lane and Cove. We were just walking around and saw you. We wanted to say hi. There aren't a lot of kids our age in the neighborhood. Yeah, so you know, it's cool to see someone else here. Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If steam could erupt from a person's ears, it would have happened then. They did bring me somewhere stupid. Of course, I knew it! What? My parents, they're the ones who brought me. I didn't walk to this town. Can you not figure that out on your own? Right. My dad brings me to Sunset Bird too when he has to come for work and all that stuff. It's not bad. That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with this Jeremy guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation probably, either. Whew! That's an understatement. This doesn't count as a vacation. It's a waste of time. A chore. My parents' family is nearby and we just had to come see them. Ugh! If they're your parents' family, doesn't that make them your family too? I guess. That's a pretty good reason to come by. Did you want to go somewhere else? No! Oh my god! Jeremy crossed his arms with a huff. He turned away. They should have gone by themselves since they cared so much and left me home. But I'm not allowed to be by myself. Pfft. It makes no sense. They're the ones who don't know how to do anything, and I'm the kid? Jeez. I don't know how to deal with this. This child is hostile. So, the options for viewers are you kept quiet. You shouldn't talk about your parents like that. Sorry, it must suck being forced to do something you don't want. Eclectic speed reading. We just said hello. You don't have to keep complaining at us. Calm down. You don't have to yell so much. And Eclectic's choice. Who peed in your cereal this morning? We have one vote for this one. I want to see if there's any other opinions. But if nobody else has any opinions, we'll just go with that one, because the worst that can happen is that we have to fix the decision later. Alright. We're Alright. Here we go. Jeremy's lip curled as his face contorted from anger to horror. Why would you even think something like that? It's disgusting. It's just an expression. He took a deep breath. He thought for one hopeful second that he was calming himself down. He was not. So what? You're putting it in people's heads. I don't want to have to think about it, and someone brainless might decide it's a good idea and actually do it. There are some real stupids out in the world, you know. You're all living proof of that. Hey! We're not stupid. I'm smarter than you are. Shut up or stop it. Honestly, I'm smarter than you are, dude. How are you going to prove that when you're just saying one moronic thing after another? You turned to Cove, lowering your voice. The two of you aren't that similar after all. Jeremy must have had good hearing, though, because he caught the private exchange and scoffed. Of course we're not similar. My eyebrows aren't stupid. Cove's cheeks flushed a crimson at the insult. You couldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger. Maybe both. Come on. How can you say that when you've got a bowl cut? Or apologize to Cove right now. You can't treat people like that. I'm all about, like, furthering this. You have a bowl cut, dude. You look like a mushroom. Alright. We'll get that apology. Cove smiled weakly. Oh, brother, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Okay, I'm sorry, your eyebrows are so terrible. I'm getting him. I'm not even, like, I'm getting him. With your fist balled, you made a quick step forward. He was the one who started things. You were the one ready to end them. He'd made it clear that words wouldn't work, leaving you to resort to action. You weren't sure what would happen, but you could not let this stand. Ah. Nope, nope. I'm gonna fight him. Let me through. Derek and Cove jumped in to stop you before you reached him. They grabbed you by the arm. Still, Jeremy instinctively stumbled backwards. He practically fell over. If that's all you can do about what I'm saying, it's just proving I'm right. You're brainless. You were annoyed the other two were against you on this and got in the way, though the reaction you had been able to get was still worth it. Wow, what is wrong with you? I wish they'd let me get him. I wish they'd let me attack. I want to bite. Instead of taking offense, Jeremy only parroted Derek's words in a nasally voice. Wow, what is wrong with you? Wah, wah. This is dumb. Jeremy stuck out his tongue and skulked away, throwing more sand everywhere as he went. You watched him go, hunched over until he became a speck in your vision. Silence reigned in his wake. The three of you tried to process what just happened. I can't believe it. What a mean kid. Derek wasn't kidding, and by the sound of those earlier complaints, the new boy Jeremy was going to be in the area at least a little while this summer. Derek sighed in dismay, plopping onto the ground. You followed, and Cove did too shortly after. There wasn't much else to do. This sucks. I was hoping we could meet someone fun, hang out maybe. He shook his head. After a moment, he slowly turned towards you with a hopeful expression. But you know what would really improve the day? What? He didn't respond. Instead, he used a hand to point right at the fruit arrangement that you were still holding. I was gonna bludgeon him with toothpicked fruit. Get stabbed by wood. You'd completely forgotten about it during the mini-drama that unfolded. You had gotten used to the wait. Glancing over to Cove, you noticed he was eyeing the fruit. He must want some too. Why not? Let's eat. We're gonna feed the boys. Derek perked up immediately at your words. He reached out for a skewer, hesitating slightly since he was only inches away. You sure? You nodded. With an eager grin, he plucked out a prime row of fruits. Cove grabbed one for himself, after him. Only you are without a skewer of your own. Pineapple! The pineapple was cut to look like a flower. It was the obvious first choice. Derek ate a pineapple skewer enthusiastically, finishing it within moments. This is amazing. It's not that different than any other normal fruit. It's kind of worse. These have been out in the open with their skins off for a while. Sheesh. Hey, you two remember the Land Before Time? That fruit thing makes me think of it. The dinosaurs all liked leaves that were shaped like stars. Tree stars. Land Before Time mention. Yeah, chomping leaves looked so delicious when they did it. And there was that scene with the pretty trees and all the dinosaurs came in and picked everything off them till there was nothing. That's us right now. Awesome. Do you think things taste better when they're shaped like stars? He snickered. Not everything, but it probably helps. The three of you continued like this for the next few minutes. Eventually, the display was barren. It looked weird when devoid of fruit. Hey! We weren't supposed to eat all of it! And it did help you make you feel better. I possibly got hangry at this boy. We don't know. What do you guys think? Do I feel better, or am I like, oh no, we weren't supposed to eat all of it? Alright. Feeling better? Yeah. Derek was right. We were angry. It was so good you were already brightening up from the earlier drama. Hey, Lane. Yeah? The two of you met eyes casually. Were you seriously gonna hit that guy? Well, he had it coming. Lane, that's so bad. I thought it was cool. You're both crazy people. You knew when Derek said things like that, it wasn't serious. He liked you and Cove. Yeah. Derek then leaned back on his arms. He contemplated the sky with a content sigh. So, are you both ready for summer break? Yeah? No, I'm not sure. Are you? How's someone supposed to be ready for a break? I vibe with this one, but I want to hear you guys' opinions because it's fun, especially with a question like this. We could turn it around. We could say yes. We could say we're not sure. I love kids being kids and silliness being silliness. I was fully ready to bite Jeremy, though. Give me quick time events. Me pick? How's someone supposed to be ready for a break? I mean, it just feels like there's a lot to plan for. What about you, Cove? Are you ready? I think that depends. Before you could say anything else, the light atmosphere was shattered. Hey, Lane! You glanced over your shoulder to see your sister. She strode closer and closer, appearing none too pleased. I've been looking all over for you. Ma said you and Cove ran off with the thing Mr. Colden brought for us. She leered over you with her arms folded. So where is it? You're late. It's all gone. What do you mean, gone? You moved over to your side to face her completely. She zeroed in on the bouquet in your hands, which was now populated exclusively with skewers dripping in juice and tiny flakes of leftover fruit pieces. Her mouth dropped open and the tone of her voice rose. Seriously, Lane? What were you thinking? It was supposed to be for all of us at home. She glanced at Cove, who sat beside you, and continued mockingly. Even if you did have an in with the delivery boy, this was up to Mr. Holden. Cove gave you a bent smile of support, which didn't disprove her accusation. I don't know, Elizabeth. Sorry is not gonna. You're not getting that from me. Get over it. Well, this morning's been kind of a disaster. We were hungry. It wasn't us. A seagull came down and ate it all while we weren't looking. I'm not gonna do that one. That one's stupid. That one's, well, theoretically true. I'm not gonna do it. So, for me, it's get over it. Well, the morning's been kind of a disaster, or we were hungry. I'm not entirely sure which one would be the best for this situation, but she's being antagonistic, so you give what you get and you get what you give. Yeah, sounds good to me. Well, this morning's been kind of a disaster. Elizabeth narrowed her eyes, not at all placated. Oh no, I think I hear the mean kid coming back. We gotta get out of here. Elizabeth blinked, confused, and looked around. What kid? I don't see anyone. Derek didn't bother explaining. He just launched to his feet and ran off. Cove hopped up too, gladly taking the opportunity to exit the situation. He followed after Derek, but sent a look to you from over his shoulder. He turned to watch Elizabeth. She stared back, brows raised. We running. Everyone is so mean now. I miss my sweet children. But I'm running. Without a word, you two got to your feet and bolted down the beach. Unimpressed, Elizabeth rolled her eyes. They're so immature. She shook her head as she walked towards the house, not bothering whatsoever to follow. Meanwhile, the three of you made it back to the shoreline. Derek pumped his fist, grinning in triumph. We escaped and shall live to see another day. We shall. You're squishy. Exactly, but we should keep moving. Yeah, for now at least. Victory! Because I don't think moms would be mad about me eating fruit with my friends. So... maybe moms wanted fruit, but they can also cut their own fruit. I want to say victory. Victory! You threw up your arms in celebration. You chuckled together, walking further down the beach side by side. You definitely wanted to stay outside a little while longer. You had gotten a bit of a scolding from your moms for not saving any of Mr. Holden's gifts for Elizabeth specifically. But you didn't get any real punishment for it, because moms appreciate that you ate fruit with your friends. Instead, while you were out with the boys, Elizabeth returned home to share the news. The three of them went to get dessert on their own. It was declared even by your parents when everyone got back and the event was settled. After that, Derek had rejoined you in the living room. He'd elected to stay outside for extra time so that you could face the potential scolding of your family without him witnessing the embarrassment. Derek was a guy you could count on. The dust settled from prior events and your moms went back to their room, so Derek was just taking it easy until his dad arrived. Mr. Suarez was meant to be there any minute to get Derek. Derek preferred not to sit, instead took long, lazy strides in a circle around the edge of the rug. Hands behind his back and head angled towards the ceiling, Derek looked like he might have been puzzling out a crime. He probably made it about half dozen rounds when a solid knock struck your front door. That stopped Derek in his tracks. Dad's here! Then both of you stepped towards the door in unison. You arrived first, since you'd had half a room head start. When you pulled it open only a crack, someone zoomed in past you. The breakneck flash of a human was still entirely recognizable. It was Derek's littlest brother, Nicholas Suarez. He shouted triumphantly, "Dick! We're here!" He was only 6, the tiniest kid around. Hot on his heels came the middle Suarez son. Look at all this. It's either Jorge or George. I'm gonna say Jorge. Nicolas. We have to stay in the car. We're going home. We're not here to play. He was 10, and his patience was being tested. Yes, Nicholas has the best clips. He's growing out his hair. The youngest one frantically shook his head. It made his hair even messier than it already was. Nicholas's hair was as wild and free as he was. Hair clips in his parents' minivan couldn't contain the energy. Which might have been surprising, considering he loved cars enough to wear a shirt covered by them. But you knew Nicholas loved Derek even more. Staying right where he was, inside your house, Even at his even older brother's side, Nicholas gave Derek a hug. I came to get you. Derek bent down to scoop Nicholas up into his arms in a fond squeeze. He kept his face tilted up to make eye contact with Jorge. Hey, bros. Distinguished. Side by side, Mr. and Mrs. Suarez trailed in. The resemblance between the parents and their children was clear. Derek and Jorge were the spitting image of their father. Jorge was even sometimes called Junior, while Nicholas was a mommy's boy. Ah, good evening, Lane. Hello, you'll have to forgive the three-ring circus visiting town. The boys just had to come. Big ol' smiles. Don't worry about that. You're welcome here. The frown that had been stuck on Jorge's face finally eased up a little bit. Oh, how kind. But we can't stay. Thank you for letting Derek visit, and tell your mothers I said hello. Okay. Come on, boys. All four of you now. Let's give the Woodrow family their house back. Coming! Yes, Mom! Half of the group trotted forward with only a word, then went past Mrs. Suarez and out the door. She watched them go before surveying the situation with the most troublesome one. Nicholas was just bouncing around Derek as if he hadn't heard his parent. Derek and his mom looked on with identical expressions of exhaustion-tinged affection. When an opportunity opened up between hops, Derek tearfully took hold of Nicholas's small hand. Let's go to the car, Nico. You can sit next to me. Thrilled by the promise, Nico last let out another cheer. Yeah, let's go to the car! Mrs. Suarez left it there, trusting her eldest, and went to join Mr. Suarez and Jorge. Nicholas gripped Derek's black wristband with a free hand, stretching it outwards in his eager attempt to lead his bigger brother along. Derek stumbled forward with a chuckle, mostly to protect his band from being pulled too far rather than Nicholas actually having the strength to move him. But he made sure not to forget you. Derek said his goodbye from over his shoulder. Bye, pal! Goodbye, everybody! After their prompt exit and equally quick exit, the whole Suarez family was on their way home. You, however, didn't have anywhere to go. It was late enough that the rest of the day would be spent inside your own house. That was a while ago now. Later that night, you found yourself seated near the kitchen counter. Your fingers drummed on the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the phone. You were waiting on a call tonight, specifically from your cousin Leandra. You didn't want to miss it accidentally. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many hours away. Your family only saw each other a few times a year for big occasions. A while back, they had moved and were closer to you than ever before. You now hung out regularly. With school being out, you're positive she's going to want to come over a lot. You two were the same age and got along well. She used to be really fond of Lizzie, Elizabeth too, but now that your sister had become allergic to interacting with her own family, it just tended to be you and Lee who spent time together. She was your only friend who was a girl? Being family helped make you close, but you had a lot of girlfriends. What do we think? Is Lane a social butterfly who has a lot of different gendered friends, or is the squad that we saw the squad? I can easily see it being either way, so I'm open to opinions from the audience on this. I do also like that we're getting a cousin. I hope it's from our Ma's side, but I wouldn't be opposed to having it from Mom's side either, because both of the designs are very nice and I appreciate it. Alright. It looks like we've got an even split. Alright, I'll flip a coin then. I will flip a coin then. Do, 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 do. Actually, what I'll do is roll a dice. Because I got dice nearby, but not coins. Even we'll do lots of friends. Odd we'll do the squad is the squad. And we got a 5. So the squad is the squad. And she was our only friend who was a girl. You weren't a girl yourself, so maybe that was why. And we can do 2 separate ones. But you had plenty of other friends. They all just happened to not be girls. Then the shrill ringtone announced an incoming call. You jumped before grabbing the receiver and pressing it to your ear. Hello? Yeah, it's Mom's side. Hi, Lane, it's Lee. I'm glad it's you. For a second there, I thought it might be one of Elizabeth's friends. There was static on the end, as if Lee was shifting wherever she was. So can you believe school's actually over? I thought it'd never be done. She's got the Little Mermaid-esque vibes for her portrait. Red hair and pink and blue. Very cute. Now we don't have to do any of that boring stuff and we get to hang out whenever we want. Speaking of hanging out, Lee, can you wait a second? Let me just head to my room. Oh yeah! You got up from your seat at the counter. Luckily the phone was wireless, so you didn't have to worry about any cords tying you down. Your mom's had a rule about not moving the phone unless a call was in progress, which is why you'd been sat by its cradle waiting for Lee to call. You thought that made sense. It was nice to keep everything in its proper place. Exactly. You gotta know where it is. But now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your bedroom and talk to her. You jogged up the stairs, taking it 2 at a time, smiling. After you had arrived, you shut the bedroom door firmly behind you. You took a seat on your bed. Alright, I'm here. Cool. Hey, did you know the girl down the street from me has her own phone now? A cell phone. And she doesn't have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything. Wow, really? And the thought of someone having a phone that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you. Right? I wish I had one too, but my parents said I couldn't get my own phone until I'm more grown up. I wish they'd changed their mind. We could call each other every single day and no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? We're going along with this as in we both have phones. Really great. We could even stay up late talking about whatever we want. Lee sighed thoughtfully into the receiver. At least they said I could have it someday. I can't wait. She sighed dramatically. I bet I'm not going to get one until I'm all the way in college. Squeezing the phone between your shoulder and your ear, you puffed up your pillows and made yourself more comfy. It was strange to think of a time when normal school would be over and you'd have to choose whether or not to go to a college. School was such a big part of your life right now. Alright. Let's see. What kind of kid is Lane? Studying didn't come easily to you, though you tried really hard. You worked up about as hard as most people and got pretty average results as well. You never tried much, but you still didn't do that bad. You didn't bother at all in school, and your grades reflected that. Everything in your classes came easily to you, or you worked hard for your excellent grades. Personally, I don't see Lane being bad at school. So, I'm sitting here thinking you worked about as hard as most people? You're going with the reflection. Everything in your classes came easily to you? Alright. Yeah. Works for me. You soaked up information as naturally as a sponge absorbed water. You had yet to worry about school being hard for you. You felt a lot of pressure to maintain the high grades. You hoped to do just as well this year, but it wouldn't be a big deal if they dropped some. You were confident your grades would remain great. Or you just wanted to flunk it? No, so I'm gonna think the top 3. Pressure. Everything's good either way, or nothing is gonna change. I'm too smart for this. Let's see. I kinda... The confidence. That's fair. I was thinking maybe we would do the... Wouldn't be a big deal if they dropped some, but... You were confident. Your grades would remain great. You could definitely keep the streak going. Yeah. You tried to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season. Lee knew you too well to be fooled. You sound so spacey. What's up? Just thinking about school. Lee groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it because it's summer? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm looking forward to going back. Let's make a petition for more vacation time. It's so awful. I hate going. Come on, it's too scary to not think about it. I don't understand this question. School is just school, isn't it? It's just how it goes. I don't know. Shall we petition? I don't know. What do you guys think? Cause I know I've been leaning on you guys a lot, but I don't really have a very strong opinion. More vacation? Alright. Let's make a petition for more vacation. Yeah, everybody in class would sign it. Maybe some of the teachers too. Though I guess school isn't all the way bad. You can do some good things there. You can just do more when school's out. Alright, let's see. What's the good thing about our school? Learning new things can be cool. Don't have to do that in school. Gym is pretty great though. Don't have to do that in school. It's the easiest way to hang out with people not in the neighborhood. True. The cafeteria lunches at my school could be better than they had any right to be. I'm thinking these last two. And personally, I think the cafeteria having really good school lunches would be really funny, but that's me. And I kind of want you guys' opinions on this too, so. Yeah, but we can learn when we're not in school. But do I? Well, I guess it depends on what we're learning, right? We're not learning science facts or whatever, but like... Alright. If I play this again, which I might, we can just do the learning next time. Lucky, mine's boring. Learning new things can be cool. It looks like it's a multi-message choice. I just wish everyone did okay with how they taught the things, not just some people. Me too. Gym is pretty great though. There was all sorts of sports stuff during gym. Oh yeah, it can be fun, sometimes. It's the easiest way to hang out with people in the neighborhood. Not in the neighborhood. If I didn't go to school, I'd never meet anybody new. Nobody really comes here. Uh-huh. But that was all. And that's pretty much everything that's good about school. Okay, point taken. Now I decree this topic of school is officially closed. We have to talk about this summer first before we start plotting the rest of our lives. I've got some plans already. Like? I'm gonna visit my cousins. You chuckled, of course. What's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head. I've got some new art supplies. I can't wait to try them out. I can't wait to see what you make. You leaned back in your bed, settling in as you continued chatting with your friend. Even though it hadn't been that long since you saw her and you'd be seeing her soon, you found plenty to talk about. For one, the events of the day. You sat up straighter. I was with Cove and Derek today and we met a new kid. Like, at your neighborhood? Mm-hmm. His parents are visiting family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What was he like? Mean. He kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He just kept being rude to everyone, but especially Cove. It was awful. I don't think I want to meet him. You want a boy to stay away before even meeting him? That's an unexpected twist. Your cousin was pretty popular with the boys who knew her. She seemed to be happy enough to have them around until they started to annoy her. Who are you to talk? Cove and Derek are always around. They're both boys, you know. That's true. That is not the same. They're not always around. I'm not the one who invites them. They show up on their own. Oh, you weren't able to say anything to that. I think these boys just show up. I think they just show up on their own and they just come to pick me up. And that's the way it's always been. I'm not the one who invites them. They just show up on their own. Lee laughed at your response, deeply amused. After a moment, you chuckled along with her. There was a stomping noise approaching your room, heralding the arrival of your irritated older sister. She flung the door open, a frown etched on her face. How long are you going to hog the phone? Glancing at your watch, you realized your quick call had gone on much longer than anticipated. Elizabeth held out her hand, the other one lodged on her hip. She noticed the realization on your face. Time's up. Alright, to Lee. Gotta go, I'll see you soon, okay? With a sigh, you say your goodbyes to Lee. Sorry for being so long. To Lizzie being mean, absolutely not. I'm still using it? No, get out of my room. Another difficult one, mainly because I'm guessing today I'm feeling a little bit antagonistic. I want to fight. So I'm opening this one up for people around. 'Cause I don't necessarily want to fight all the time. What do you guys think? How should we log off of the phone call with our cousin, our dear, dear cousin? Still using it? That's fair. I'm still using it. Alright. Not anymore. You don't get everything in the world. Neither do you. I'm not the one asking for it. You had your turn. Now you want to get mine too because you were first in your dreams. I will get Mom's. Teenagerdom, man. This is so difficult. Like, girl, if you came in here and asked nicely, I would not be being so abrupt with you. But you did not. You came in and you snapped at me. Fine. Lee, I have to go now. Okay. See you soon. Tell Elizabeth and your moms I said hi too. You'd barely pressed the end call button when Elizabeth whisked the handset from your fingers and began dialing someone new as she strode out of the room. Your ma's voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? I'm using it! With that, she shut your door behind you. Silence was left in the wake. This is my room. And I bet she'd snap at me if I went to her room. That was one day to end your first day of summer break. I don't like Elizabeth. I want Lizzie back. She was cool. Sometime later, it had gotten dark outside and you lay in bed wide awake. Your window rattled all of a sudden, startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at it with furrowed brows. From your vantage point, you saw only the moon and an open sky. You were... Alright. We had the haunted experience. The last time there was a weird noise, we got curious. What had caused that noise? Cocking your head, you sat up and moved closer to the window. You wanted to get to the bottom of this. To your utter shock, your gaze was met by a pair of familiar ocean blue eyes. Cove? You squinted. Yep, Cove was right outside your window. Your house was very angular, and some parts stuck out further than others, so theoretically it wouldn't be hard to climb around on. Still, just because somebody could didn't mean you expected it to ever happen. To his credit, Cove was doing fine. His feet were braced against a section of the wall that jutted out, his arms flexing with the effort to keep him upright. He easily lifted a hand and waved at you from the other side of the glass. You hurriedly opened the window. Cove climbed over the ledge, releasing a breath once he was safely inside. Hey, Lane. What are you doing? What's up, Romeo? This sure is a surprise, but you're always welcome here. Is everything okay? What happened? You're lucky I didn't start screaming. Amazing. My dreams have come true. I feel like one of these two, the surprise or Romeo, but... Again, I feel like viewer's choice here, because it's funnier that way unless we have another tie, and then I'll just roll a dice. Because I got that. Nearby. I got a lot of dice nearby. Should get a coin to be closer, so that I can have a coin to flip. You're lucky I didn't start screaming. Okay, Eclectic says screaming. I wonder full. I don't know. That's kind of funny. Yeah, that's why I was thinking it would be fun with Romeo, but I think most of these are funny, so. Alright, we'll go with Eclectics. So, you're lucky I didn't start screaming. I needed to talk to you and it couldn't wait till tomorrow. I'm sorry. If I rang the doorbell, I know your moms would have answered and they'd just make me go home. Didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyway. I don't want to talk about it. Well, besides, with you, I mean. That's why I did that. As unexpected as this was, you were touched. Cove felt like he could tell you what was wrong. I might have tried calling or something, except my dad was on the phone. Cove suddenly looked at Fairy Cross. Dad, he was talking to my mom. Still is, probably. You raised your eyebrows. Cove had eavesdropped on his parents' phone conversation? I'm not gonna comment on that. It depends on how loud the conversation was, and I don't know the context. There were other things to talk about. Are you gonna stay with your mom for a while again? Every year, Cove was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks. When it happened varied. Sometimes he would go during winter break, but usually he went during summer. Even though it was hard news when you found out he was leaving and you missed seeing him those weeks, you understood. To your surprise, he shook his head. That's what I thought too. But no, that's not what they were saying. My dad asked my mom to not have me leave this year. He said she could come stay with us here. You waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. You couldn't help but stare at Cove. There was a complicated mix of expressions on his face. Is she gonna do that? Yeah. She told him she'd come. I know she's coming soon, before school starts. Oh. You had heard about Cove talk about his mom a lot over the years. He'd tell you about past memories or what happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about someone and another to actually meet them. Very soon, you were going to see Cove's mom in person. You were taken aback by the news, so you could only imagine how Cove felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across your room, his features pained with dread. Before, they'd barely stay in the same room long enough to have lunch. Now we're all going to be together again, the three of us. After all this time? Just for a few weeks. I know I should probably be happy they can talk to each other now. I'm still not. I'm just confused and freaked out. And I feel really bad for feeling this way. Lane, it's so... His fist tightened and his eyes became misty. I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time and I'm not a little kid. Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. There's nothing wrong with feeling bad. That is hard to deal with. We can deal with this. I'm sorry, Cove. You know I'm here for you. Yeah, that's a lot. You didn't know what to say. I know what to say, but... There's nothing wrong with feeling bad. That is hard. Honestly, one of these top three, I like those the best. What do you guys think? Like... I can see that one, but I don't know. That's a lot. It could be a very teenager way of saying it. Alright. Feelings are valid. The tense line of Cove's shoulders eased. Thanks, that makes me feel a little better, like I'm not freaking out for no reason. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. You marveled at how the day had started. You had woken up eager for summer vacation, but now things seemed so crazy. The mini debacle with Mr. Holden's gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood being so rude, and as if all of that wasn't enough, now Cove's mom would be living with Cove and his dad again. Your whole life was kinda like that, it seemed. Complicated and hard and... different. Why couldn't things just get better with time? Lane? The sound of your name said quietly pulled you from your thoughts. Cove glanced at you concerned. Are you okay? We're direct with our friend Cove, so... Are we okay? Yeah, I'm okay and mean it. Yeah, I'm okay and don't mean it. No, I'm not okay. I don't know if I'm okay. Who, me? I'm more worried about you, deflecting. Or wow, things are kind of bad for everyone, huh? Are we okay? It kind of seems like it just sort of sucks. This is the first day of summer vacation. And we've had... like, everything seemed to be low to mid instead of high excitement, good vibes, beach vibes. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling too. That one, or things are bad for everybody. I don't know, man. I get it. At least I think I do. Cove grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but you knew it was genuine. He had come here, conflicted and upset, only to end up worrying about you. He really was a great friend. You know, I think I don't want to talk any more about this. He looked away, his lips thinning into a line, and rubbed at his arms. But I kinda don't want to go back home either. Could I stay a little longer, just doing something else? He appeared equal parts hopeful and vulnerable. How could you possibly turn him away? You can stay tonight, but we shouldn't make a habit of this. I've got a flashlight and some cards. Are you in? Of course, you can always stay here, Cove. I'm just like, these two are honestly more my feelings at the moment. but I kind of think it's just like, do you want to play cards? I think I'm gonna do that one, because I think that's fun. I've got a flashlight and some cards. You in? You waggled your eyebrows, already excited by the prospect. Cove perked up at your response, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed, not afraid to get comfortable in your room. You felt a little better at the sight somehow. You still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. And not just tonight. You were glad he came into your life in the first place. That was a change you'd never want to undo. It felt totally natural to let him into your little world. That initial friendship had deepened so much over these past years, and you were certain there was room to get even closer. You joined Cove on your bed, taking a seat across from him. He smiled at you again, but you could tell this time it was half-hearted. He was still easy to read. Though he didn't want to talk about his mom and dad, he must be thinking about what happened, and what's about to happen. How are we getting his attention, folks? Are we smiling gently at him? Are we putting a hand on his shoulder? Are we patting his back? Are we hugging him? Are we taking his hand? Are we nudging him with our foot? I'm all about nudging people with your feet. You gotta use all your limbs. But I'm also all about hugging or back pats. Personally, I feel like a physical sign here is what's needed, not just a smile. Yeah, let's get him with our feet. You were easily able to reach out and nudge him with the arch of your foot. You had no idea how to make him feel better, but you were trying. Cove blinked, confused, before he swatted your foot away. But his expression softened into something more natural. Attack of the feet! Conversation was stilted and broken often by silence at first. Then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. As your secret hangout session stretched on, you thought you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. You hoped that the day would never come when life decided the two of you would have to part ways, and you knew Cove felt the same. You opened your tired eyes, groaning as they adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your window and warming your tan skin. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple of times, clearing the sleep from your eyes before realizing, with a start, that it was actually morning. You couldn't remember even falling asleep. Cove crept through your window during the night, and the two of you spent time together, trying not to wake your parents. You must have fallen asleep while you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. You wondered how late Cove had stayed before heading home. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether you should get out of bed and get ready for the day, or stay snuggled up for a little while longer. Until your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable mop of pale green hair, and you bolted upright and gasped in surprise. He never left! He was still there! In the morning! Cove! You laughed out loud. You jumped out of bed. You froze. Honestly, I feel like laughing. This is the silliest thing that's happened. You laughed out loud. He had fallen asleep while sitting on the ground and precariously leaning his head on the side of your mattress. With your laugh, Cove's eyes snapped open and his head slipped from its source of support. He didn't stop going down until he smacked right into the floor with a crack. You clamped a hand over your mouth and looked at him with wide eyes curled up where he had landed rather ungracefully. Ow! We're gonna get caught! Honestly, I'm helping him up. Here. Cove complied by putting his hand in yours, and you helped him back to a sitting position. You okay? Yeah, I'm alright. If either of your moms found out Cove had slept here last night, the two of you would be in big trouble. Cove blinked at you a couple times, his eyes growing in panic as some thought that only he could hear settled in his mind. Oh my god, I fell asleep. You weren't exactly sure what to do as you watched Cove pace around your room, looking around frantically. Cove's hands flew to his face, letting out a sigh of relief when he found his glasses right where they were supposed to be. Despite that, he hadn't completely calmed down. The atmosphere was still frazzled. I don't know what to do. These kids are so silly. These poor kids. It's going to be alright. We're going to be in so much trouble. Just calm down. Settle down before my moms hear you, or not say anything. What are we gonna do, folks? We gonna settle down? Settle down. Settle down before moms hear you. Cove nodded, his shoulders tense as he fixed you with a firm stare with his turquoise eyes. Letting out a heavy sigh, he ran a hand through his hair in exasperation. He couldn't look at you again as he spoke. I'll see you later. You were confused by how all of this had played out, but hoped that was true. Yeah, see you later, Cove. And with that, you were suddenly wrapped in an intense embrace. As panicked as he was, this seemed to be something he couldn't forget before leaving. Thanks. Again. You're a good friend, Lane. He firmly whispered the words onto the top of your shoulder. But you were let go before you had the chance to respond, or even fully react. Rude. Let me hug you back, boyo. In a matter of seconds, he had climbed over your bed and opened the window. A cool breeze rolled off the ocean, fluttering through Cove's hair and filling your room with its salty scent. Cove fearlessly stepped out onto the ledge. You wished him luck, you rallied him to keep going, you suggested he sneak out the door. Instead, you urged him to hurry up. I think I want to wish him luck. But I wouldn't mind rallying him to keep going. Out of these two, what's you guys' favorite? Wishing him luck and rallying him to keep going. I do think this is one of the more funny, frantic things, like climbing my house to get into my room because you're don't break your arm again. Wish him luck. Good luck. Don't fall off my roof. You weren't sure if he heard you or not, but he kept going along, one foot in front of the other with increasing speed until his form disappeared out of sight. You stuck your head out the window as far as it could go, trying to try keeping watch. He walked the full length of the ledge before jumping down to the top of the garage, then lowering himself onto the fence. From there, he finally dropped down onto the ground. He threw out a thumbs up at his successful climb. He ran off towards his house without stopping, disappearing behind the side of another building. You had to admit that you were pretty impressed at how doable he made that look. With a little sigh, you reclosed your window. Deciding there was nothing more you could do, you hopped off your bed and got ready to head downstairs for the day. Slippers, checking in the mirror, making our bed, or just leaving. I don't I'm just gonna put on my slippers. You knew it was summer, but your slippers were comfy and cozy, and they made you feel better whenever you wore them. You took the stairs, slowly attempting to mask your face into a look of innocence. You were sure that someone would have come into your room if they had heard anything strange, but you couldn't be too careful. You had to play it cool. When you stepped into the living room, Elizabeth was there, tapping her finger on the counter. Good morning, Elizabeth. She looked over at you immediately, her eyes squinting at the greeting. Why are you being so weird? You hadn't even done anything! Your big sister never missed a beat, unfortunately. Her eyes flickered left and right as you sidestepped her and head toward the kitchen. Lane! Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? Because I'm not going to tell you. You're mean. You're mean now. I don't want to deal with you. I'm thinking shrug it off, or wouldn't you like to know? We shrugging it. You shrugged it. I'm not. You spoke so nonchalantly, you almost thought she believed you. But you knew better. Further suspicious squinting occurred as she waited for something. But ultimately she rolled her eyes, and you weren't sure if you were in trouble or not. She didn't seem to care enough to dig any further. Whatever. And then she walked straight out the front door, letting it slam shut behind her, and you let out a brief sigh. Elizabeth went out most days to hang out with her friends from school around town. Today you were extra glad for it, though you were also grateful she hadn't left the house any sooner and risked running into Cove. It looked like you were getting away with that. Breakfast was eaten in peace, and alone. Your moms were both out by the time you had gotten up. They had left you a serving of food from the breakfast they had made. Hash browns, an omelet, fruit salad, and there were a few sausage links. Okay. Picky eater? Vegetarian? Vegan? Or we hungry and we eat all of it? I like that there's so many options. Is Lane any specific type of diet thing? Or are they a picky eater? Personally, my thought process is I don't think that Lane is a picky eater. Hence why I'm hovering over the one that I would suggest. Lane's not picky. It was tasty. You appreciated that there was variety in the meals your moms made. The day drifted by lazily at home, and eventually your parents returned. You pulled open the fridge again, lingering in the frosty air for a moment or two before grabbing a bottle of ice-cold water and taking a long drink. It was a perfect balmy summer afternoon, and you had decided to head outdoors to find something to do. You hadn't decided what that something was just yet, but you were sure something would pop up to occupy your time. As you were heading out the front door, you paused for a moment. You hadn't seen Cove since he had left that morning, and you couldn't help but think about what had happened to him. Would it be bad to go over to his house right now, or call him to check in? You stepped out of your house, still stuck in an internal debate with yourself, when a voice caught your attention. "Hi, Lane!" Confused, you looked over to where an unrecognizable woman was waving at you, a friendly smile plastered on her face. You racked your memory for where you might have seen her before, but nothing came to mind. Not your school, or from the country club your moms took you to. You had absolutely no idea who the woman was. The woman crossed the roads towards you, and you were a little unsure of whether you should stay put or go back into the house and lock the door. Oops, I'm sorry, was that presumptuous? I've heard about you, but you have no idea who I am, do you? You shook your head, and she removed her sunglasses to reveal sparkly ocean blue eyes. All of a sudden, she seemed a little more familiar. My son lives here, and my ex, too. With a bent smile, she lifted a hand to point at the condo across the street from your own house. She was Cove's mom. You didn't know why you hadn't realized sooner, now that you'd gotten a good look at her. She seemed nice. She seemed sort of strange. She looked really young. It made sense that she was Cove's mom. She felt so different to Cove. She was super pretty. She felt so different to Cove. Yeah, I'm getting oh no vibes from her too. She felt so different from Cove. In the little time you'd been around her, she'd given off a totally different impression than Cove did. No matter your thoughts on her, you still felt taken aback that she had appeared here so suddenly. It made sense, and she looks young. Those were both options I also would have picked, but she gave off such a different vibe from Cove that I was very sure in my answer. But I probably should have waited a little bit longer, because normally those big block answers I get help from the audience on. My apologies, dear audience. No matter your thoughts on her, you still felt taken aback that she had appeared here so suddenly. Cove mentioned she was coming, but you hadn't got the impression that it would be the very next day. She extended a hand again, this time for you to take, and you studied the manicured fingers in front of your face, and the assortment of bracelets that dangled from her wrist. "I'm Kyra Priest. You can call me Kyra." I'm polite. I shake hands. You reached out and took her hand, and she took yours firmly, grinning wide. I'm Lane, but you already know that. That I do. Cove's mentioned you to me before. It's nice to officially meet you, Lane. Cove talked to you about his mom. He hadn't mentioned how he had said things about you to her. Nice to meet you, too. She smiled fondly at you, her eyes crinkling at the corners. The sound of a door opening and closing caught both of your attentions, and when you turned towards the sound, it was to find Cove exiting his house, his eyes skimming the ground. Considering just how tall he had grown, you kind of figured his mom also would have been tall, but she was much more on the short side for an adult anyway. Cove's height must have come from his father. There you are. I thought you were going to keep me standing out here all day. You tried to catch Cove's eye as he walked towards you, but his gaze was firmly fixed on the sidewalk. When he finally crossed the road and looked up, he gave you a pitiful look. After the way he had acted last night, you knew he must be feeling pretty mixed up about this. You tried to wordlessly express that you understood. Cove and I are heading into town to grab something to eat while the Snore is at work. Oh. Ooh, I don't like that. Don't like that. Don't like that. No, 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 no. Kyra beamed at Cove and ruffled his hair, which only seemed to upset him more. You assumed the Snore that she was talking about was Mr. Holden. It is rude. Hey, you should come with us, Lane. I'd love to get to know you better. Yeah, you should come. There's a reason she doesn't have custody. There was a pleading in his tone that you couldn't miss. Of course we'll run it by your parents first. Responsibility and all that. Ooh, I don't like the way she talks. She gives me ick. I'm getting the ick from her. It'll give me an excuse to meet them, which I need to do at some point. It's important to be neighborly if I'm going to be roosting on this street for the time being. Any whoosies, let's go. Kyra walked ahead towards your house, and you hung back with Cove, who crinkled his nose as he watched her. I'm sorry about her, but I really do want you to come. I don't want it to be just the two of us. Not right now. He leaned in closer and whispered while checking around for anyone who might hear. What happened? Did your dad know you were gone? Cove shook his head and sighed heavily. Dad was so focused on Mom showing up that he didn't even notice. I thought when I heard them on the phone last night that it was something they were planning for the future. This morning Dad said it was supposed to be a surprise, and I guess I was surprised. She's gonna be here all summer. Oh, you were surprised to hear that too. Cove sighed again, even heavier. I'll go with you if you really want me to. He smiled, his shoulders relaxing a little in relief. Thanks, that'd be cool. The two of you headed over to where Cove's mom had just knocked on your front door and stood behind her. Mom answered the door after a minute, her eyebrows lifting up in surprise at the group she found in front of her. That's a buzzkill, no doubt. Like, ooh. You realized that, like you, she would have no idea that it was Cove's mom who was hanging with you. However, after blinking at the woman a couple of times and looking between her and Cove, realization seemed to strike on her. Hello there. I'm Pamela. Mom's name is Pamela. I see you've met my kid Lane, and I'm guessing you've already known Cove for a while. I do hope Dad's gonna be okay. He's so genuine and honest and hardworking compared to Cove's mom. Kyra laughed, and you and Cove exchanged looks at your parents' weird sense of humor. I'm Kyra Priest, Cove's mom. It's so nice to meet you. A head of purple-brown hair caught your eye as Ma popped up behind Mom, squeezing herself in beside her. We have company. I was wondering what all the commotion was. She grinned excitedly at Kyra. The two of them introduced themselves and shook hands. Yeah. I agree with both of those. With her needing to get out of their house and Dad being a good nut. He's a bit hard to read sometimes, but he is very much a good person. Hi, Lane. Cove. Cove smiled at Ma shyly as she gestured a hand over towards the living room. There's no use hanging around the doorway. Why don't you come in? I'd love to, but I promised to take my son out to eat, and I wouldn't want to hold you up with a surprise visit. Aw, I understand. You're welcome to stop by anytime. I'll take you up on the offer when I can. Count on it. Would you mind too much if Lane went with Cove and I? My treat. We won't be driving, just a quick walk down the road. Sure, that sounds nice. I hope you all have fun. You gave your moms a look, and they smiled at you fondly. Am I happy they're letting me go? Or am I mildly annoyed that they're just agreeing just like that? I think... Yeah, this is one of those weird situations where it's like... I don't know which one to be here, because like, if it was Mr. Holden, I would be happy they were letting me go. They don't know this lady other than that she's Cove's mom. Yeah. Cove does need me to be there, and I'm not gonna be in an annoyed mood. I need to be a support. You were happy they were letting you go. You could tell that Cove really needed the support. Yep, there we go. And you were ready to be there for him. Exactly. Marvelous. Expect us back in an hour or two. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Your parents waved goodbye to the three of you as you backed up onto the street. There was the sound of the front door closing behind you. I'm pretty positive I saw some restaurants when I was in the taxi not too far from here. Yeah, it's a tourist town, isn't it? There's a lot of them around. It was kind of strange to see Cove give someone this much attitude. If he wasn't in the mood to be nice, he just generally kept to himself. Kyra put her hands on her hips and smiled at her son. Well, you sound like the area expert. Do you have any recommendations for a place nearby? Not really. Kyra pouted at him a little and turned to you instead. How about you, Lane? Want to point me in the right direction? We can shrug. We can say not really. We can give a couple of our personal favorites. Or we can just nod. It's hard to read what we should be doing here, Cove. Am I supposed to be, like, supporting you by not picking anything? Am I supposed to make it so that you don't have to talk to her by taking over and running the tourist destination for the tourist? I agree. I'm gonna run interference and... Sure, I have a couple of favorites. You'd been to a lot of places in town, and there were a couple that stood out from all the rest. There's a Chinese restaurant that me and my family go to all the time. It's my mom's favorite. There's also a tropical themed place that tries to be sort of fancy. Both sound like a treat. I'll leave it to you to pick for us, since Cove is going through a phase over there. He huffed at her and turned his face away. I'm not gonna do this one, because we're running interference. Do y'all want Chinese food or the fancy tropical restaurant? I don't think we're all dressed nice enough for the tropical restaurant that's trying to be kind of fancy. I kind of feel like breakfast Chinese food sounds funny. I like that it helps narrow down the decisions here. Let's do Chinese restaurant. Thank you, Lane. Will you show us the way? You nodded, taking the lead of your little group as Cove and his mom followed behind you. Together, the three of you left the neighborhood behind. The walk was about 15 minutes, and along the way, Kyra asked a lot of questions about the area, Cove was quiet most of the time, so you ended up answering her instead. Kyra explained that she lived in a large city, and she loved how peaceful and relaxing everything seemed in Sunset Bird. The restaurant was busy as usual, but luckily you were shown right to a small table. Kyra lowered herself into the chair while Cove picked the one diagonal to her, not facing her or to her side. It was awkward. Ahem, let's see. To start, what would you all like to drink? I'll get an orange soda. Noted. Lane? Hydration. Lemon or anything? There's sugar on the table. Lemon. Sure. Kyra placed the order for your drinks, getting a black hot coffee for herself, and it didn't take long before they were brought to the table and set in front of you. You took a long sip of your drink, my lemon water, as she looked around the restaurant. Your small group checked over the menus and you decided to order a usual thing. You'd been to this restaurant many times, so you knew what was good and what wasn't already. Kyra and Cove didn't need any encouragement for this. They were totally focused on the information in front of them. Soon the meals too were ordered and the menus taken away. You glanced at the table surface, waiting to figure out what to say. Cove sunk back further into his seat and avoided eye contact. He started to twiddle his thumbs while acting like all this was perfectly normal. His sour feelings today were unignorable. He put her focus towards you. So, Lane, what's a few things that you're into? There's got to be something you do for fun, especially now that you're not buried in school assignments. Well, I spend time on art. Ooh. What type of art do you guys think that Lane would do? I think maybe sculpting, because we had a whole box of miscellaneous doodads and stuff for the beach, but I'm a big fan of just art in general. So, I ask the audience for their participation. I could see anything. Drawing is fun, and obviously we did that when we were younger. Painting could be interesting, because that's just sort of usually a step up from drawing in a lot of art classes and stuff like that. Sculpting, again, because we had the box of doodads and doohickeys. Sculpting? Yes. We learned how to make clay sculptures in school, and I've loved doing it ever since. And okay. I didn't know that would take that out of this, so I would also have done painting, but I didn't know that and would take us out. I thought it would let us have that option still, but I did not do that. I apologize, Eclectic. We can read. So, Eclectic, this is your choice for the... I did not do the painting, my apologies. Reading, watching, games, hanging out with people, going to the beach, sports, music, writing things, studying, fashion, Cove. Or nothing else. We're just a sculptor. I might pick games are fun to play. I might pick reading things. The ones with the ... dots probably have more options. Yeah, I don't want to, like... I'm still working on the timing of comments and stuff, so I don't want to, like, blow people off accidentally. That's my main issue. Let's do read. Oh look! There's manga! Alright. Can I go back? Let's save. Okay. I'll just hit manga real quick. I haven't heard of that style, but I'm sure it is very good. And sports. What sports? Tennis, volleyball, golf, basketball. Type in your own sport. All of them generally. Watching them. Well, we did do volleyball for the one game. We could type in our own sport, which... I don't know. Like water polo, maybe? Manga was a good choice. I am glad I picked manga. I love manga. Manga is so fun. I need to get better at waiting. I need to do a better job of waiting. I will do a better job of waiting. But until I do a better job of waiting, we got a sport. Yeah. I need to get better at waiting like 20 to 25 seconds because of the delay between comments and me seeing them and you guys seeing what I have picked. So I'm trying to do my best while also filling the time, but I am doing what I can. Fencing, absolutely. I play fencing. It's great. And games are fun. I like to play video games. I don't know much about them. Maybe you can show me sometime? Board games. That's great. We should all play a game together sometime. Card games. I like card games too. Maybe we can all play together sometime. And I think that's it. No, I go to the beach and swim. He must be a strong swimmer since he lives so close to the ocean. I find the water a little scary, but I still like to dip my toes sometimes. Walk along the shore. That's a nice way to relax. I hope I'm able to spend some time on the shore while I'm here myself. A lot of fun. Look for seashells. I keep the best ones I find for my collection. I'm sure it's an incredible collection. And should I say I'm really into Cove? Dear friends, or should we just not say anything else? I'm gonna say I hang out with people too. Hey, it's nice to have friends and family to spend time with. Should I say I'm really into Cove? Because that could be funny. Or should we just finish this section up? I think I'm going to finish this section up mainly because I'm starting to get tired. So I want to get to the end of this section, I think, and we'll see if I can find a good stopping point. You didn't say anything else. Thanks. I'm happy to learn more about you. There's still so much I haven't heard. Cove leaves the detail out. I do like him, but I also don't know if he would want me to say that to his mom. Is why I decided against it. Also, what exactly did Cove say about me? Kyra laughed, holding her hand in front of her mouth. I can't tell you that. I didn't come all this way to embarrass my son. Too much. Kids are delicate at this age. She laughed again, and you glanced at Cove to see his reaction. He was trying not to pay attention, but you could tell he was uncomfortable. Hoping it would clear some of the tension in the air, you decided to ask Kyra a few questions of your own. Cove hadn't told you much about her, and you were curious to know more about this woman who was such a big part of his life. What exactly do you do for work? I'm a travel writer for magazines and things. I keep people in the loop on what's worth seeing. It's good work. Wow. Yeesh. I want to get out of this restaurant before I save and call it an end. Do we want to ask her anything? Where do you live normally? What do you like to do? Are you in a new relationship now? Why did you and Mr. Holden get divorced? I personally am not leaning towards those last two. I don't know this woman enough. I don't like her very much. To be honest, I don't really care about those things. What do you like to do? Yeah, that sounds good. Get what you give, yeah. Spend time with my little boy, of course, and traveling. A real shock, huh? Okay, so we can ask, where do you live normally? Nevada. Have you ever been there? You shook your head. It's a beautiful place. Check it out if you can. You couldn't bring yourself to ask another question. It didn't seem to bother her that the conversation dropped off. Cove sipped his soda angrily. Slurping up the remaining drink with furrowed brows, he looked ready to run straight out of the restaurant. You weren't sure if coming along had ended up making the lunch better or worse. You made a silly face at him. You smiled at him. You gave him a sympathetic look. You flicked his straw wrapper at him. You left him alone. I'm not a fan of the last one. Personally, I don't think a sympathetic look would work here. He's got his eyes closed. I want to flick his straw wrapper at him. But that's me. I'm okay with smiling at him or making a silly face at him too. What do you guys think of the three options? 2 blue, 1 yellow. Mainly because, like I said earlier, I'm running interference here. I have to help keep him from being alone with his mom. Although it does sort of mean that we were alone with his mom instead. Straw wrapper! Let's do it! The wrapper hit Cove on the nose and you had to bite down on your lip to keep from laughing. It took a couple of moments, but finally he cracked a smile, and that made you feel a little lighter inside. You two seem really cute together. Cove covered his... You ruined it! I got him to chill and you ruined it! Mean. Cove covered his face with his hands and leaned back in his seat. Oh, Mom, why would you say that? You felt bothered too. You blushed. Thanks. We are cute. You just laughed. I think thanks. We are cute. So funny. I think we are cute. Yeah. I think it's fun. I'm gonna do this one because it's funny. Thanks. We are cute. Very. Your meals were delivered shortly after that, and everything was so delicious, even Cove enjoyed his food. Alright, now that we're all full and content, can you please explain why you've had a bug up your butt all day? Cove's face scrunched at that. I will go for all of the things. I want the joyful smiles. Seriously, baby, what did Mom do to make you this mad? I haven't even been around a full day yet. He gripped the edge of the table, refusing to make eye contact. The words he spoke were barely audible over the din of the restaurant. You could have told me. She leaned forward to not miss anything else, eyebrows raised. Told you what? He finally seemed to find his voice and spoke through the thoughts that had been on his mind. That I wasn't going to visit you this year. That you were going to be coming instead. Didn't you invite me? You wanted me here with you? Cove's eyes began to shake and his frustration ebbed. I do want you to be around, but I didn't know it'd be like this. It's not the same, and nobody said anything. I see. Her expression grew tense. She threaded her fingers together and placed her hands in front of her on the table. We've both been gifted another Clifford surprise. Referring to that as a Clifford surprise almost caused both you and Cove to crack a smile. You'd had no idea that his name wasn't just Cliff. Over 5 years, nobody had ever called him Clifford until now. She smoothed her hair out, letting go of her stern look. The more things change, the more they stay the same. They let out identical sighs, but smiled weakly at one another afterwards. I can go home, Cove. We can still set up a normal trip to my place before the summer ends. Cove's lips tightly closed together. He seriously pondered the option. I think I do want you to stay. I miss it when you're not there. My heart! She reached across the gap, grabbed his face, and planted a kiss on his cheek. Cove tried to wiggle away. Mom, stop! I'm sorry. Sweet young men need to be smooched by their parents. If I don't, they'll take away my mom license. Kyra was completely enthused by Cove's admission, though a tone of seriousness did return to her voice when the conversation continued. Do you want to talk to your dad, too? No. Cove had snapped the word instantly, but reeled his annoyance back just as quickly. Maybe later, not today. I understand. We can shelve it. Mr. Holden, what are you doing? I get that you wanted to surprise both of them, sort of make them feel loved and appreciated, but this is a delicate situation and they need something not that, honestly. Thanks, Mom. Thank you for talking to me, little mister. She grinned affectionately at him before turning your way. And thank you, Lane. Huh? What did I do? It's easy to act like a baby with your mom. It's harder to keep that up with your neighbor watching everything, especially when you really care about what said neighbor thinks of you. She winked. Mom! She just ruffled his hair with a laugh, then moved her own hand down to tap the end of his nose. And that was how the issue was resolved, at least between Cove and his mom. When the three of you left the restaurant and Kyra had paid the bill, you'd walked back to your neighborhood slowly. You had eaten so much that by that time you were beginning to feel sleepy. It didn't help that lunch had happened late and the sun was already beginning to descend from the sky. He's all gussied up. Look at him, trying to look all pretty. Mr. Holden, you fucked up. You tried to do a thing and you did it wrong. But eventually you reached your street. Someone was there to greet your group upon arrival. Welcome back, family, and Lane, too. Cliff. Dad. The two walked past him into the condo without sparing another word. Despite the summer heat, their shoulders were cold. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. He rubbed the back of his neck with a crooked smile, but his eyes were soft as he looked on after them. He's so much like his mom, don't you think? You gave a vague nod, not sure what he was expecting you to do. It's deserved, honestly, a little deserved. He nodded back, far more energetically. Okay. Have a nice night, Lane. You too, Mr. Holden. With that, Cove's dad disappeared to join the others inside. Yeah, I don't think he cares very much. He's like, oh good, they're getting along. I was worried. With that, Cove's dad disappeared to join the others inside. It was your turn to go home now. Summer hadn't started off at all how you had imagined it would have, though it turned out to set the tone well. Having Kyra in the neighborhood was a new experience not only you and Cove, but also both your families. And a dull moment was rarely had. Oh, excellent. I managed to make it to the moment selection. So we're going to save. I'm going to move it over so that if I wanted to go through all of that again, I could. So, thank you guys very much for coming to see me, for joining me in this excellent and fun time. Now is the time for it to end, I believe. I'm tired, I believe. We've reached a good stopping point, and we can move on with our days. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all coming in and viewing it for however long or little you chose to join me for. Until the next time our signals cross, I hope you